Nice to meet you all. Yeah, so my name's Rick. What's your name?
John.
John. I was going to join in your Champions League conversation a second ago.
Oh, yeah.
And then I remembered I'm a Man United fan, so
We'll
we'll get it out of the way early, shall we? We'll get it out of the way early. I'm sure there'll be a few more as we go. Definitely check your wallets later. I am Mancunian. I apologise. I don't apologise at all. Well, listen, thanks for being here. Thanks for giving your time. We're going to have a bit of a talk a little bit about some of the things I do. I'd like it to be interactive. I know we're a little cramped in. If any phones go off, we can hand out some press-up penalties and whatnot and whatever. I've already had a volunteer over in the corner who thinks he's getting away with it. Said his name was David, sorry, but I'm not sure he's even giving me the right name. But anyway, this is me. It's a pleasure to be here. A little bit about myself. I am like, I think a lot of sort of young guys and young girls in that. All I ever wanted to do was play sport. That was my thing. I played football to a fairly good level, fairly decent level, and combat sports was my real interest. I was alright. I was pretty good. I had decent footwork and I had world-class head movement. Yeah. The problem was it was in the wrong direction. I used to block punches with my face all the time, and it didn't end well for me. That's why I'm so pretty. So when sport wasn't to be, it was just sort of natural for me to follow that path and become a part of sporting life and sporting teams and whatnot like that. I was lucky enough to spend 5 years as the head of performance for Team Ricky Hatton, for those of you who like your boxing. And I've trained a few other clients. Tony Bellew was one of my clients for a few years. Anthony Collar, I don't know if you've heard of him. Yeah. So yeah, I've been lucky enough to do that. I've worked with, and this is just a bit about quick working. A few of the people that I've been lucky enough to work with. I've worked with a young tennis player who we managed to get to Wimbledon 3 times, of which 2015 he drew number 8 in the world, David Goffin. That didn't end well. It was a good lesson. 2016 he drew Andy Murray. Brilliant, thanks for that. And then last year he drew Granic, who's got the world's fastest serve. Probably dislocated his shoulder trying to return it. So it's been a big part of my life. I've been lucky enough to work with a few high-profile individuals and whatnot like that. For those of you who are sat here thinking, well, I'm really into sport, what's that got to do with us, the work that I do with the athletes, I hope it's quite adaptable. I was lucky enough to then spend a number of years working with Red Bull, the drink, not vodka, Red Bull. Working predominantly with their Superbike program and a few other athletes as well. They have a jump program which you may or may not have seen, and some of those crazy guys and girls who jump off buildings and all that kind of stuff. I don't know about any of you lot, but I've never sort of woke up and thought, I fancy jumping off world tallest buildings today. And that led to other things, working with the police, fascinating working with the police and the challenges they're facing right now. And actually when I was talking to the police on one particular day, one person and one member of the force put their hand up and said, well, I've got a question for you. Okay, whatever. And I certainly will not know all the answers today, and I'd like you to be as interactive as possible. I do not know all the answers. Who does? He says, we're a football team, and they're a football team. He says, they've got 11 players and we've only got 4. How do you work that one out? I was like, I don't know. Move on. So I don't know all the answers. What I'm here to talk to you about today is just a way that we've done a few things in pro sport, a way that we've done a few things when I've done some work with the RAF, which is the picture on the left there, and see if any of that applies to the environment you guys are in. Yeah? And see what you can take from it. Again, to finish it with the football, I gave a talk on resilience a week ago, and it was all about mental toughness and the toughness that is needed to survive as a football player and a football manager. Now, who likes their football? Yeah.
This guy.
Who likes their football from yesteryear? I use a bit older. So, you two are at the back there. You lads, you shouldn't put your hand up. So I was there to talk about mental toughness. Mark Hughes walked in the room, if any of you remember him. Tony Adams and Roy Keane. And I'm giving a talk about how to be tough. I was like, yeah, that's three of the hardest people that have probably ever played the game. So what I didn't do was give a talk about how to be tough in football, because what do I know compared to them? And I'm not here today to preach to you about, you know, the ups and downs, the highs and lows of your role. I've got a little understanding of it. I'd like you to help me understand it a little bit more, and we'll see if we can fit in and give you a few techniques that apply to your environment. Fair enough?
Yeah.
Right. So, I did do a talk in Manchester a few months ago. It was filmed, and you've all watched it, right?
Twice.
Yeah, of course. What's your name?
John.
John, you're my man then, aren't you? Yeah?
I watch it the third time.
Ah, brilliant. What a guy.
I have a desk.
What a liar. What a liar. We're just going to touch on a couple of things. For those of you that obviously have been that busy, smashing your targets, you've not been able to watch it, yeah? That's all the reason why.
There ain't many in here either, I'll give you a clue, Rick.
What, you tell me now, what are the challenges you face on a day-to-day basis? People?
Candidates.
Candidates, yeah, people?
The word no.
Excuse me?
The word no.
What do you mean? Tell me more.
So you approach someone and you say, oh, I just want to speak to you about this. No.
Rejection?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And in particular, stay with me a second, in particular, perhaps how you absorb that rejection?
Yeah, just turn around.
Your perception of that rejection?
It hurts.
Yeah. We'll come back to that. Stay with us a moment. Time? As in a lack of, or as in?
Yeah, just capacity, I suppose, to get stuff done within set times.
Yeah. So we've got deadlines, right? Sport, the deadline sport. To rephrase it, sport results industry.
Yeah.
What happens if you don't get the right result in sport?
Sounds right.
Whoa, come on. Come on, it's not even right.
He's a Liverpool fan.
Well, even worse. I can't take it off a Liverpool fan. What happens if you don't get results in sport?
It drops.
You lose, and ultimately what happens within your role?
You get dropped.
Yeah. Or even worse,
Sacked.
your
Sold.
manager, yeah, sold or moved on. Any more challenges you guys face? The same.
Targets.
Targets. Yeah, and what about targets? Tell me about that. What happens with targets? A few people looking over to the gaffer and going what they can say here or not.
They only go up.
Demands go up. Yeah, expectations increase. Pressure. There's pressure to achieve. What does that do to us?
It makes us act irrational sometimes.
Stress. That's the one I was looking for. Irrational, emotional. Rational is emotion, yeah. Stress is the one I was looking for. Is there anything else?
Self-esteem.
Can affect your self-esteem. Things aren't going your way. Start questioning yourself.
Yeah.
Anyone question their ability sometimes?
People make mistakes.
Well, we're humans, right? Yeah. But what about questioning ourselves? What about questioning whether you're doing the right job?
I think if you're not reaching target, you failed essentially. I mean, sometimes you make feel like you failed and then you question.
Is it a failure? Is it a failure? And I'm going to come back to that a little bit later, if that's okay. So it's a challenging environment, right? No 2 days the same. People provide new challenges every single day, don't they? When you think you've seen it all, when you think you've heard it all, you get that client, you get that candidate, and you think, wow, I've not heard that one before. Yeah, or someone will take a role or whatever. There's a million and one challenges you face on a daily basis. Yeah? You have to be adaptable, right? Athletes are no different. You can see the screen there. But athletes have to get up early, have to stay late, just like you guys. Athletes face stress, athletes face pressure, athletes have to deal with people. I've worked in a number of team environments. Do you think I liked everyone that I've worked with? Do you think I liked every athlete that I've worked with? Do you think they've liked me? I mean, I don't know that. I mean, never have, but, apart from the man caption, but yeah. Why was I there? I wasn't there because I was liked. Why wasn't there?
Good at what you do.
Well, that's debatable, but yeah.
Get results.
Get results, achieve targets.
Yeah, because I was there to do a job. I was there to achieve a target, to get a result. Yeah. So if I'm training a pro boxer, which is predominantly my sport, so please forgive me if I use that along examples. I might dip in and out to a couple of other bits. Okay? If I just took a pro boxer who'd not trained for a year, even if they were professional, they'd not trained for a year, they'd had a year off and they'd been, doing whatever life brings. And I just stuck him or her back into a ring and said, right, you're gonna fight. How do you think that'd end?
On the canvas.
And that is who they fought against.
Yeah, very good. But let's say they're fighting someone.
Yes.
By the way.
It's more than likely, yeah, it's probably not going to end well. Because athletes, yes, they do all these things, they train, they've got to have desire, they go through pain, they've got to put effort in, but they've got to optimise themselves. They've got to train. If we put them into that environment without the tools for the job, without the tools for the job, is a likelihood it's not going to end well. Agree? Yeah? But I'm not on about your training manuals here. Yeah? I'm not on about your training manuals. When I say the tools for the job, what do you think I mean?
All of those building blocks underneath the podium.
Yeah? What tools, what building blocks do you need?
What?
What have you got in place right now to perform? And I don't mean being shown a certain procedure at work, a certain standing operating procedure or a certain system. I mean you. What have you got in place to get the best out of yourself?
Experience and ability,
Okay?
enthusiasm, desire to succeed.
Yeah.
Support.
Yeah. Enthusiasm, interesting. Is that every day? Let's be honest. And I'm not just looking at you. Motivation, is that every day? Let's be honest.
Support.
Let's look at ourselves. You're right, but that would be an external one. Yeah?
Good habits.
Excuse me?
Being a good habit.
Keep going. Such as what?
Good sleep, good rest.
Okay. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, please do, Josh.
Yeah?
Did you ever sleep?
Yeah, you need a good balanced life.
Why? Why do you need a good night's sleep? Because I talked about this last time. I talked about two foundation pillars. One was sleep, and we'll stay with that for now. Remember what you said, experience and ability. Yeah? Experience, of course, is an ongoing thing. Ability, interesting. The ability to tap in, the skill to tap into your ability, is that affected by your sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Concentration.
Yeah. So who sleeps well? Oh, I'll rephrase the question. Who sleeps with a phone by the bed? Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't sleep well, then, I promise you.
But
You
it's
don't
on
sleep
silent.
well. Even if it's on silent, you don't sleep well.
I think that's our alarm clock.
It's your alarm clock, isn't it? Go to the local supermarket, to wherever, and buy a £10 alarm clock. Yeah? Because unconsciously, you're still thinking about your messages. You're still wondering what's on your email. Yeah? Who checks their emails before bed? Okay? And pull it away from work. Who goes on social media before bed? Who's got a friend who puts on Facebook, I can't sleep, at 1 o'clock in the morning? There's a paradox. There's a paradox for you, isn't it?
Just John.
Yeah? I can't sleep.
John sending us messages.
I can't sleep.
I'm just a little bit.
Yeah. Not that. I can't sleep, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something that's going to keep me awake. I'm going to put that blue light in front of me, I'm going to stimulate my brain, stimulate my eyes, yeah, and keep myself awake even more. Yeah. Why is sleep really important? So, that's twice, right?
You re-energise.
Definitely gives you, it's recovery, it gives you energy. One more. Anyone want?
Relax your brain.
Yeah, it does relax your brain. Well, anyone watch that TV program, SAS Who Dares Wins? Yeah. What's the stage that 90%, 95% of the recruits fail on?
Sleep deprivation.
Why is that?
Because you can't beat it. Body starts crashing.
Fundamentally, your body will shut down. Your brain will shut down through a lack of sleep. Yeah. You have caffeine before bed, you're affecting your sleep.
It's
Right.
me.
There's more than one lying over it. Yeah. But it affects your hormones. It affects your hormones. Okay? Social media, when you get a like or a comment or something like that, anybody know what it does to your brain? It's highly addictive.
It
Releases
serotonin.
Releases serotonin. What does serotonin make you do? Feel good. So then what do you want later? It doesn't last very long. Then what do you want more of?
Serotonin.
So what are you likely to do with your phone?
Heroin.
Like yourself.
You get the point, right? You get the point. That even the fundamental basics, okay? And interestingly, I do a lot of mentoring with a chap who was in the SAS for about 17 years. And he was asked to go on that program. He was asked to be in the DS on that program, and he turned it down. And I said, "Why did you turn it down?" He said, "Real SAS would go on that program." Okay. I was like, "Ooh."
Would you say real SAS wouldn't?
Real SAS wouldn't go
Oh,
on that
right.
program.
Okay.
So sleep's crucial. Yeah, it's a foundation pillar. Yeah? If your sleep's off, if your phone's by your bed, I can promise you you're not sleeping great. I promise you that. I'll keep you here all day, I'll talk to you about it afterwards if you don't. What's the other one?
Diet and exercise.
What?
You say water?
Is that what you said? I was going to try and style it out that I understood it. It's all right. It's all right. Hydration. Yeah. No. Guys, stay with me. How long do you last without food? No comments on the food downstairs. Food is very healthy.
Week.
2 weeks, 2 weeks.
4 days.
Without food, before the ultimate,
2 weeks.
it's between 2 and 4 weeks, depending on your body mass. Between 2 and 4 weeks, depending on your body mass.
Month.
Yeah. What about water?
3 days.
3 days.
Okay. So if I said to you that 82% of the brain is made up of,
Water.
and 86% of the UK right now are dehydrated, what do you think's happening to your cognitive function? I feel a little bit dehydrated, it's a little bit warm in here. I've got my water, I've got some more over there. What's happening to your ability to think?
Diminishing.
What's happening to your ability to control your hormones? Hormones are directly responsible for your emotion. You talked about an irrational decision. Trust me, we often think that this is linked to one sex hormones. Trust me, it isn't. Right? So how many of you are drinking at least 3 litres of water a day? Yeah. What strategies have you got in place to perform? Because if nothing changes, then nothing changes. Now what I can promise you, and knowing not just a little bit about Mawson, but a little bit about corporate companies and many different corporate companies that I'm lucky enough to speak to, just like sport. Okay? Is it fair to say the environment's changing right now? The economy's changing. Yeah? The businesses have got new challenges. Life's changing. That isn't going to stop. That isn't going to change. But we can only control what? Ourselves. And we can only control our ability to deal with the demands placed upon us. Is that any different to sport? Would I put an athlete into competition without the training? It wouldn't end well. Yeah? It starts with you. Agree? If nothing else, if you work on getting better sleep, and work on a bit more on your hydration, I promise you, you'll feel better. What's the one other big thing that affects your sleep? Yeah.
Kids.
Kids, definitely.
Stress.
It's an old saying in sport, win or lose, hit the
moon.
So take a little look at your alcohol intake. Yeah? So, moving on from that. Has anyone got any questions? Or I pull it in a bit further. Everyone good?
Yeah.
I'll rephrase it. Somebody say something to me.
How much sleep do you have
8 hours is the optimum in what's known as circadian rhythms. The cycle of your sleep, 8 hours is proven. It's absolutely proven.
And is there anything proven in the before midnight, after midnight, or is that kind of...
Yeah, there's a ton of different research out there about that. I think the golden rule is the earlier the better, as long as you don't go too early. I think the most optimum time I think has been shown to be 10 till 6. But that's not always realistic. Remember, these things have to be realistic. Yeah. If I make one of my boxers go to bed at 10 o'clock every single night, and he's fighting on Sky at 11 o'clock, yes, is that realistic? Yeah. But ideally, we don't want to train our fighters dehydrated. What do they like to do in the boxing ring? In a big arena? It's absolutely roaring hot. So we have to train to give them the tools for the job. Because if we don't have the tools for the job, what's going to happen when we place them in that environment? There's only so much training your company can give you. You have to look at yourself. I can't live with my athletes. I have no desire to. Some of them are doing it. I'm trying to be in the swear box today, even though you lot have been right at it already. Yeah. I have no desire to live with them. Yeah. I don't want to spoon feed them. I'm trying to coach them. But I can't control what they do when I'm not there. I can only educate them as to why it's important they do it. Fair enough? Okay, let's just move on then. So we're gonna, sorry. We're just gonna have a little look at mindset in particular, going from positive to negative, a bit more about dealing with adversity and a bit more about what it applies to you. But before we move on, I want you to watch this.
No, I'm stupid enough to think I was doing it.
James done that. That's our next sponsored event for the charity.
What are the key messages that you got from that?
James Broom wants to do it, he says.
Say that again?
James wants to do it, he's just followed
No, I
suit
said
for
I
the
was
next
stupid
charity
enough to
event.
think I could do it.
Yeah? Yeah.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible. Go on, why is that? Why have you said that?
That's very difficult.
Pretty tough, right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Confidence.
Somebody else? Confidence, yeah?
Teamwork.
Definitely. Anyone notice the guy in the blue?
Is that you?
No.
Oh. That's an anticlimax.
Could have said yeah. Could have said yeah. Story of my life, don't worry about it. He wasn't strapped in, the guy in the blue. If you notice that. He wasn't strapped in when he was running across the open door to drag him in. I think he might have had a parachute on. Fairly certain he did, but he definitely wasn't strapped in. Any more?
Timing as well. was
Yeah.
obviously-
Timing, it all had to be done right, didn't it? Yeah.
Balls of steel.
Definitely needed a bit of minerals for it, yeah.
Trust in the pilot.
Trust in the pilot. Who did the pilot have to trust?
Himself.
Yeah, his own skills. The angle of descent was way too steep. It was dangerous. They'll have had to have practiced, surely. They'll have had to have been trained for it.
Trust the jumpers as well.
Right, why's that?
Because if they missed,
Then what happens?
they should have pushed the plane.
Well, if the wingsuit misses, apart from the fact they then went on at the end and started doing pull-ups off the wheel, if the wingsuit misses, catches the propeller, the wingsuit's gone. Who else is gone?
Everybody.
Right, everyone, yeah.
There's a ton of messages in that. Do you know what the most important message that I took from that? When have you ever seen anybody jump out of a plane? At some point, I know one of the wingsuit guys, Fred, and we'll come back to him later. He's gone, well, I'm not jumping out of a plane. I'm going to jump into one. I'm going to jump into one. Yeah, it's never been done before. I'm going to do it. Somebody mentioned confidence, I think. What else?
Preparation?
Preparation. Believing anything is possible.
Mindset.
It's all about having a strong will and a strong mindset. When he will have made that statement, what kind of things, or what kind of communication, what kind of words, what kind of expressions might some of the people, if his friends and family, maybe said to him?
Correct.
Negative.
Can't do it.
Can't be done.
Laughter.
Laughter. Anything else?
Question why.
Definitely question why.
Disbelief.
Disbelief. Yeah. Because here's the thing, right? Here's one thing that I've noticed. Yeah. The world is full of talkers. Yeah. I see that a lot in boxing. Andy Joshua should do this. Andy Joshua needs to jab more. Yeah. Funnily enough, he probably knows that when he's getting punched in the face. Yeah. The world is full of talkers. Okay? But because you're good at FIFA doesn't mean you know about football. Okay? I said that to my little boy. My little boy quit playing football and then started saying to me about football and what somebody should be doing when he was watching a match. And I said, son, you need to go back and play. If you want to really understand it, you need to go back and play. Just because you can play Mortal Kombat doesn't mean you know how to fight. Yeah? There's an old saying from years ago, you can't learn karate out of a book. Okay? The world's full of talkers. Yeah? And when those guys said, I'm going to do this, they would have been faced with a ton of people saying it can't be done. A ton of people giving negative comments, etc., etc. But they went and did it. Now, did they just go, no, sorry, you're wrong, I'm okay? How were they able to control their mindset? In fact, I'll rephrase it before I go on to that. Do you think they ever had any self-doubt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. You ever had any negative moments?
Yeah.
So how did they overcome them? What's the process?
Planning.
Planning.
Back to them building blocks, isn't
Hold
it?
on to that, whoever said that.
Back to the building blocks. It's
Back
all
to
the
the building
strategies,
blocks. So, when that film was made, and they hit the play, and they landed, was that attempt one?
No.
How many attempts was it?
7 or 8.
A lot. A lot. Will it have been done at that angle straight away?
No.
Will it have been done at that altitude straight away? And what do you think will have happened even at a lower angle? They'll have failed. A lower altitude, what will have happened?
Lessons learned.
Most importantly, what they carry on doing.
Adapting and trying again.
Keep going. Is that any different for you guys? Tell me your name, Mr. Heroin. Alves. Talked about rejection. Yeah? Is rejection personal? Is it?
No.
No. How you take it is.
Oh, it can be personal. Your filter of rejection is where it's personal. Yeah? I don't know about any of you guys and girls, boys and girls, sorry. I haven't developed the ability to read minds. You don't know what's going on in that person's life that day. The day they pick the phone up to you. You don't know what's just happened 10 minutes before you've had a phone call with them. True or false?
True.
And they reject you. I'm too busy, or however they dismiss that phone call. Is it personal?
Not necessarily.
How do we react to it, Mr. Heroin?
Is the heroin? Oh dear.
Oh, you said it, I'm just
that's gonna
repeating your
stick.
words.
Just get to the next one then.
Do you do that all the time?
I'd have to.
That's a closed question. So, do you do that all the time? Yes or no?
No.
Maybe.
I think we all know the answer. Yeah, and you're not. Listen, you're not. None of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. The point I'm making is we have to put ourselves in that scenario, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to acknowledge we don't always do it. Because we're human beings. In order to change our mindset, we have to acknowledge the changes we need to make. Yeah? It's okay to take it personal if you get rejected because you're a human being. But it's about analysing it. It's about taking the lessons, whoever said that a minute ago. It's about creating a plan to improve and look at yourself and what can I control? I can't control that they may have had an argument with their husband or wife 10 minutes beforehand. But I can control my tone of voice, yeah, my energy levels. Yeah. You think tone of voice isn't important? I know you guys know it is. I know you've been trained in that kind of stuff. I think body language isn't important when you're on the phone. Communication is only 7% words. You have to acknowledge. If I've got a boxer who keeps getting punched in the face, I need them to acknowledge that there's a problem, yeah? Yeah, you're getting it in the face, mate. No, I'm not. Yeah, yeah, you are. If they don't acknowledge it, how can we begin the change? If we don't accept it, how can we begin the change? Now, no comments on this one, please. But this is the exact same principle that they do at Alcoholics Anonymous. Yeah, I'm not an alcoholic, by the way, and there's no stigma there if I was. I manage it, I'm an alcoholic.
I'll ask the question. So when you're training a boxer, do you teach them to accept the fact that they may lose?
Yeah. Yeah. Because is there a likelihood that they might?
Possibility, yeah.
Can I answer that in a minute for you? Actually, I'm going to answer that in a minute. Okay, can you hold on to that? What were you going to say?
I was saying, obviously you know a lot more about any sport. There's a possibility you're going to lose. No one, well, apart from football, maybe, no one has won every single boxing match. Last time.
Most sports people don't want to accept anything lose.
But are they going to lose?
Yes.
Yeah, and whilst I don't have that as a focal point, I'll answer it a bit more later. Yeah? You've got to acknowledge in your mindset, you've got to look inward. Yeah? It's a saying that I use a lot in my talks in these environments. If you don't manage yourself, you will be managed. How many of you reflect on your performance on a day-to-day basis? On a deal-to-deal basis? Now, there is also the old paralysis by analysis thing, isn't it? I'm not saying we want to do that, we don't want to overanalyze. Yeah? But I get my guys to acknowledge that there's a mindset change needed. Answer me this, if I've got a boxer walk into the ring, and I'm starting to answer your question now. If I've got a boxer walk into the ring, you think mindset athletes, yes, they may lose. They're going to fight, Tyson Fury, whoever. Yeah. If they're walking to the ring going, fucking hell, he looks big. Yeah. He looks fucking massive.
Out of the way.
Yeah. Not at the weigh-in even more so, but it happens at the weigh-in, but it more so happens on the walk to the ring. It's
That's psychological, isn't it?
Oh, mindset is psychological. Mindset is psychological. Yeah. And trust me, we've had boxers who openly admitted afterwards they walked to the ring going, he looks big. He looks bigger than yesterday. His arms look massive. Yeah. So they may not win. They may win, they may not win. But the way they talk to themselves is absolutely crucial. And then I've had some of them say to me afterwards, yeah, but it didn't affect my performance. You walk into the ring, talking to yourself, saying, he looks massive and he looks like he's going to beat me up. And that doesn't affect your performance. So I have to get them to accept it. I have to get them to acknowledge it and accept it.
Even Conor McGregor.
Yeah. I think he's a phenomenal actor. He's very good with labelling. He's a businessman, but he's very good with labelling. He just changes the labels, and I'm going to give you an example of that in a minute, which will answer your question as well. Yeah. I have to then give them a vision of what mindset change would look like. Yeah. You have to accept that there's a problem with your self-talk. No one does it perfect. That's okay. Yeah. And that's what compelling vision is. What if you didn't take it personally? What if you were able to just take a lesson from it, take a deep breath, reflect on it, look at yourself and say, here's where I can improve. Because again, I'm not perfect, by the way, and I'm certainly not standing here saying I'm perfect. But what I'm trying to do is just be the best I can be on a daily basis. Yeah. What would life look like if you
Improve yourself more.
were a bit fresher, if you were a little bit fitter, a little bit healthier, and a little bit mentally sharper? Would things improve then if your energy levels were a bit higher? I think they would. And this is not a personal, attack at anybody. But in any area of what we do, if we look after ourselves a little bit more, if we look after our energy levels, if we sleep a bit better, if we hydrate ourselves a bit better, if we work on the way we talk to ourselves during tough times, especially, then I think we give ourselves a bit more of a chance. Whether that's sport, whether that's business, whether that's life, whether that's anything. Fair? If we have a vision of what life would look like if we looked after ourselves, yeah, we're going to come on to visualise in a second, we need to move on now, then I think we've got a bit more of a chance. If we can destroy what's called future discounting, and if you want to write that down and look at that, or I'm happy to email a bit more information to you, but future discounting is when you don't get the rewards right now, this second. Does that apply to recruitment? Yeah, because we don't always hit target. And And if we don't hit target, we don't get the reward. Yeah? It's the same with athletes. During training, when we've taken them up onto hills on Christmas Day, and I've been there, sadly, for a 5-8 weeks down the line. Yeah? The most important stage is then you've got to act on it. When I talk about vision, you might have seen this one before. Sometimes people say, oh, visualisation is a load of rubbish. Load of rubbish, load of rubbish. And not everyone's really visual, but most of us are. You'll have come across that before, yeah? Opportunities nowhere, opportunities now here. But you want to talk about your filter. I used this in a seminar about 18 months ago, maybe a bit longer, not Christmas, the Christmas previous. Snowing outside. What did everyone see?
Nowhere.
No?
No here.
Nowhere.
Snowing outside. And when I use this in a room that I'd never been in before, everyone, when I've used this previously, we've all seen this before, yeah? Opportunities nowhere, opportunities now here. I've had people say that I've even tried to coerce them towards picking one of the two. I didn't coerce anyone that day. It was snowing outside. That was people's perception. Don't tell me you haven't had a vision of what life would be like.
Not in the last few weeks, no.
Who's had that vision?
Yeah.
Tell me about it. Where would you go? Let's keep it to, where would you go on holiday?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Private jets. We've had that vision, haven't we? We've had that vision. Yeah. You acknowledge the areas of your mindset that need developing. You accept it. You acknowledge how you deal with rejection is the big one. How you deal with somebody irritating you in your team. Yeah? You acknowledge how that makes you feel, accept it, and then develop a vision and a plan. Someone said a plan. What it'd look like, what life would look like, and the rewards that life would bring if you execute those things, if you took action. And they're the steps to changing your mindset. It's an ongoing process. Is Conor McGregor perfect? We mentioned Conor McGregor, was it himself, mate? Do you think he's like that all the time? I guarantee he's not. He's ballooning at the minute, isn't he? But
Yeah. He's Ricky Hatton,
Thank you.
leave Ricky Hatton alone. Leave him alone. What's that?
Jaw.
It's a jaw. So who said that then? See that? It's a complete break of a jaw. Yeah? When most jaws break, so because of the way the jaw is attached, because it's attached from either end here, most jaws break. They break and it splits like a triangle. And as you can see in this one, there's a complete separation. He actually had a metal plate inserted into his mouth. It was actually, I think, on this side. A metal plate inserted into his mouth and 4 bolts. And that's what the bolts removed because they got infected and whatnot like that. And he was on liquids for about 12 weeks. That happened in round 4. And he was able, he lost the fight unfortunately, he was able to continue for the whole 12 rounds.
Oh, he's not, isn't it?
Ali Fraser, no?
No, Norwood. Norwood knocked him out in the second round when he went in.
It's not, but it's the same scenario. Knowledge, guys, I like it.
Yeah.
How was he able to continue?
Adrenaline.
Dig in.
We hadn't trained him to have a broken jaw.
Adrenaline just.
Dig in.
There was definitely some adrenaline.
Tramadol.
Yeah, not during a fight.
Anyway.
Yeah, Tramadol wouldn't touch the sides with that. So when I said to this fighter, how were you able to carry on? And his face was out here and we were reviewing it weeks afterwards. Because of course we trained him. Yes, mate?
It's got quick, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is. Of course we trained him to absorb punches as best as we could. Of course we trained him to use certain tactics. Yeah? And the punch that landed was a punch we'd worked on. But unfortunately, sport is like that. is a corporate environment any different? Do things just happen? Do things just change? Do dynamics just change? Any one of you will have had a day where you've got an absolute deal there, bang on the table, it's ready. And then all of a sudden the rug gets pulled. Yeah? And how do we deal with that? Now the way Scott dealt with that was he was focused on his vision, and what was his vision?
Being fine.
Holding his belt. Yeah. Holding his belt. So don't underestimate the power of working on your visualization in terms of mindset. Don't underestimate the power of it if it means that much to you. Yeah? Fair enough?
Yeah.
Here's a couple more tips for you. How many of you study all your outcomes?
Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah? How many of you learn to positive think? These things need practice. They need practice. You can't do anything just off the cuff. I don't care how much ability you've got. Yeah? You have to train yourself. You have to train your mind. Yeah? You cannot train your mind on a poor night's sleep. You cannot train your mind when it's dehydrated. You cannot train your mind when it's full of pizza.
Mr. George Best.
Well, there's always an anomaly to every rule, by the way. There's always an anomaly to every rule. Yeah.
Good.
But, excuse me?
Good, because that's me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Modest as well over there.
Very modest.
Yeah.
4 hours sleep a night.
Yeah.
Very, very positive.
There's always an anomaly to every rule.
You sleep in the day as well, Jim, mate?
Hang on.
Yeah. You're waking up for us. How many, guys, stay with me, how many of you think about what's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? Just so you play to control your anxiety. And this is something that I'm quite passionate about. I've heard people talk about depression, never have a plan B. Well, not in my world. There's always another solution. There's always another solution. I don't call it plan B, I call it another solution. There's always a solution after the solution. Yeah? How many of you, when it doesn't go your way, just shut down?
Yeah.
In my world, you have to have what I call behavioural flexibility. Yeah? I have to be able to stand in a room. You've been alright with me so far, to be fair. But then I have to switch and be in a room full of athletes. And then I have to be a father, and so many of you are the same. Yeah? I have to have behavioural flexibility. I have to have a solution for that. Yeah? In sport, if it's not going our way, we just carry on. Yeah, it's not working, so let's carry on.
Plan B.
It is.
solution.
You need to talk to Ollie, mate.
Leave Ole Gunnar Solskjaer alone. Leave it alone. It's not working, so I'm gonna keep doing it. How's that sound?
A bit daft.
Definition is a madness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Insanity, yeah.
Sanity.
I've got no interest in problems, by the way. I'm completely outcome focused. Completely outcome focused. When somebody comes to me with a problem, and this is an athlete, I'll say to them, tell me the solution. I don't know, so we'll come back when you do. Yeah? It's just the way I am. Completely outcome focused. I work in sport for one thing and one thing only. To win. That's all I'm interested in. I win or nothing. Yeah? And I'm going to give you an opposite side. There's an SAS principle. That's a key principle of the SAS. Does that answer your question from before? Do we train our fighters to lose? I don't. Whether these theories agree with that or not, I don't know. But the SAS state there's no such thing as failure, only feedback. What does that mean?
Everything's a lesson.
Learn from mistakes.
Everything's a lesson. It's definitely always room to improve. Somebody said to me,
Learn from your mistakes.
learn from your mistakes. How many of you are doing that right now? How many of you are reflecting on your day, at the end of your day? And what went well and why it went well? And what didn't go so well? Why it didn't go so well? And what are the lessons that are in that? So, tell me your name again.
Mine, Jason.
Jason. I'm going to train my athletes to fail. Word failure is just a label. It's just a label. If I change that label to growth, development, learning, the positive or negative thing.
You're also trying to change their mindset to accept that if they do lose, that they haven't failed. That they haven't, there are things that they can learn from the loss.
Is there anyone in this room that thinks that they're going to go a day without getting rejected on the phone? Is there anyone who thinks that they're going to go a week or a month without getting a deal or without losing a deal? Is there anyone who thinks they're going to go through their career without losing a deal? Because you're deluded. Yeah, and someone may point to Floyd Mayweather. There's always an exception to the rule. There might be someone in here who's never lost a deal. Yeah, there might be someone in here who's never been rejected. There's always an exception to the rule. Yeah, no, do not want them to accept getting beat. But I also have to change their mindset in the eventuality that it may happen. Because in a world of combat, if the ego takes over, it's a dangerous place. Is that fair enough? Fair enough?
Mm-hmm.
The reality is, in combat sports, they can be a million times better than the opponent, and they just might get punched. And we've executed our plan. Yeah? We've done everything. We've done our training, we've got our sleep, and it just didn't go our way. But it's then how we deal with that that's crucial. Do we let it deflate us? Do we let it? And many pro boxers, by the way, never fight again after a defeat. For those of you that are boxing fans, you'll probably know that.
As well as they were.
Never as good.
Yeah.
And there'll be people in this room that are damaging themselves after a setback. Yeah? You're damaging yourself because you don't have the tools for the job. Then you're damaging yourself because somebody mentioned the habits that you fell into. Yeah? And I'm going to need to skip on, I'm afraid. Who flinched when they saw that camera from over the top? Definitely one. Definitely one. I did. I've watched that so many times. I was like, oh. Same guys, obviously. Same messages. If we'd have put them into jumping off the Burj Al Khalifa straight away. Not going to end well, that. Yeah, it's not going to end well. They would deal with adversity from their peers, from their environment. They would deal with adversity from within. We're only as good as our training. We're only as good as we're optimised to be. There's not one person in this room that could take the G-forces that drop provided, particularly the rotational forces. It would break all our necks. Yet they're no bigger than me, you know, massive, obviously. Not so funny. Yeah? Cool, right? Cool. So, to round it up, you've got to be able to reflect. You've got to be able to look at yourselves. It's a key skill. You've got to be able to look and figure out, particularly in terms of your mindset, where you're helping yourself, where you're not helping yourself. You've got to be able to optimise your health and give yourself the tools for the job. Yeah? Just like those jumpers have done. They couldn't do our job. You know, there's a million jobs that they couldn't do. Yeah? The amount of times that I've spoken to people who do unbelievably dangerous jobs, and then I said to them, you know, about what I did. Oh, I can't stand up and speak in public. I mean, you jump off buildings. Yeah? You have to give yourself the tools for your job. Yeah? You have to create a plan and work it out into steps. Someone mentioned a plan earlier. Who's got a plan? Who's got a plan to be the best they can be? It's got to be done on a daily, weekly basis. Athletes do not just get up and go and have a fight. They do not just get up and go and race a motorbike. Yeah? Footballers, because they're good at heading a ball, they don't then turn around and go, yeah, we're good at that now. Yeah? I'm never doing that. They practice on a daily basis. Yeah? They always have deadlines in place. You guys are just the same. You guys have deadlines in your targets, right? You have to be prepared to make some sacrifices. And take it one step at a time. When you leave here today, you have two choices. You go, man, that was alright. Or you can have a little look at yourself and say, do you know what? I'm going to create a vision of what I want for my career. Or maybe for my life. Maybe your career will provide the vision for your life. Yeah? Or you can walk out, do whatever. With nothing changing, nothing changes. If you walk out of here and have a look at yourself and say, listen, I'm the best I can be. I'll look after myself. And I'm not on about being, you know, Mr. Jim or Mrs. Jim and training a million times a day or anything like that. What I mean is just trying to improve ourselves a little bit. Try and improve our health, because our health directly affects our mental health. The food you eat affects your body, affects your mind. It affects the way you perform in work. Your hydration is the same, your sleep is the same, and trust me, your social media is as well. This is what I do with my guys. Just out of interest, by the way. Anyone want to take a bet in a room amongst each other that you could go a month without social media?
Myself, I'll bet she can't.
You think you're not addicted to that? You think you're not addicted to that? Yeah? And then, who wakes up in the morning and checks Facebook straight away? Or Twitter?
Too busy running to it.
These are the key markers, guys, that I try and do with my clients. Just stay with me, we're almost done. I know it's warming here as well. These are the key markers that I work on with my clients, from corporate clients to athletes to military to anybody. The umbrella is what I call high performance. Do we always get it right? No. But we try and give ourselves the best chance of performing at what we do. Giving ourselves the tools for the job. It's always with a foundation of health. Do I like to go out for a beer? Of course. Love it. Yeah. But it's always with the foundation of health. I like a few drinks, but I accept that alcohol is not that great for making me perform. So it's not something I do all the time. Fair enough? You have to put yourself into state. You have to remove distractions in order to perform at an optimum level. Okay? Take a little look at your social media. Take a little look at your WhatsApp. They never show up those things, do they? Who's got 1,000,001 groups on WhatsApp? Take a little look at yourself. Take a little look at the things that you're avoiding. Yeah? It's easy to eat pizza rather than eat salad. I was going to draw this on a board and I'm going to leave you with this now. The final thing that I want to talk to you about today, and it's something that we do with all of our athletes, is we talk to them about the discipline of decision making. You're all adults, yeah? As I say, when you leave here today, you can go, that was alright, or that was rubbish, or that was great, or whatever. Yeah? But if nothing else, take one thing away. I'd like you to be able to self-reflect. I'd like you to be able to acknowledge and accept your areas of development. We've all got them, by the way. No one's perfect. But then the final thing is, pretty much everything in life involves a decision. Yeah? Who makes that decision? You do. You decide to come to work. No one's forcing you. Yeah? There's a door there. Yeah? Pretty much everything in life involves a decision. And this is absolutely the case for optimizing your performance. You've got two choices. Short-term pleasure, short-term pain. And if nothing else, I'd like you to take this away with you today. Maybe ever think about this when you're presented with a decision. Do I eat pizza? What's your name? He was definitely up for some pizza before, weren't you?
Oh, look at him.
Feeding them big muscles, that's what it is.
That's the steroids.
Oh. Do I eat pizza or do I eat chicken salad? We have a decision to make.
Do you think so?
Do I go bed early? Do I watch Netflix? Do I go bed early or do I scroll people's lives on social media? And there's a paradox, isn't it? Because we only put the good stuff on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, none of us put all our lives rubbish on. Short-term pain, short-term pleasure. You have the decision to make, just like my athletes. Do you think my athletes like training? Most of them don't.
Sometimes.
Most of them don't. Most of them don't, I can promise you that. They like the rewards the training brings. They talk themselves into focusing on the rewards the training brings. Short-term pain, I got them the wrong way around. Short-term pleasure. When you accept the decision of short-term pain leads to long-term pleasure, and short-term pleasure leads to long-term pain, your performance will change. Yeah? Just like going down the gym. It hurts your arms when you do bicep curls. But you keep doing bicep curls, in the long term, you should do a few more, you mate. He's been giving it out all previous. I'll look you carry on doing bicep curls. I'll get good feedback just that alone. Maybe not him. You carry on doing bicep curls, your arms will hurt anymore. You have good arms. In the long term, pleasure will be there. Yeah. Short-term pain, long-term pleasure. Short-term pleasure, I'll have a beer instead of a water 5-6 nights a week. Long-term pain, fat belly, yeah, body full of estrogen, hormones all over the place, erratic behaviour, poor sleep, poor hair quality, poor teeth, poor breath. We've got that. So, break your vision, take action, get a plan, get rid of your distractions, do things you don't want to do. That's the key to optimising your performance. Yeah? That's the key to a solid mindset. That's the key to being able to bounce back, to have bounce back ability, to have resilience. There's always an exception to every rule. Some of us are unbelievably resilient and always will be. Most of us need to train it. Most of us need to be exposed to it, bit by bit, just like an athlete. Yeah? For those of you that have ever boxed before, or in fact for all of you, yeah? First time you get punched in the face, not very nice. Yeah? You get punched a second time, and a third time, and a fourth time. You build resilience too.